Hi guys, in this video I'll be showing you how to sew a fully lined pencil skirt. If you're interested in learning this, please keep watching. If you would also like to know how I created the pattern for this tutorial, please click the I now or I'll link it in the description bar. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kemas Daniel and I post content around DIY, sewing, lifestyle and all of that. So I have my band, my zip, my two pieces of the lining and the skirt cut out, and we're going to start sewing. The first thing you need to sew is the darts. So we're going to hold all the darts for both the front piece and the back piece. Both pieces have 2 darts each, a pair of darts. So we're just going to sew that down on the front and on the back. Should look something like this for your back pieces, and then go ahead and do the exact same thing for the lining pieces for the front and for the back. Next, taking the 2 back pieces, mark out where you want your slits to start. I marked 5 centimeters from the bottom hem of the skirt, so the top space is for the zip, the middle is for the seam line, and the end is for the dart. So just sew the middle down, leaving the top and the bottom open. You should have something that looks like this. Next up, we're going to attach our zip. I'm just pinning my zip down with the 2 fronts facing each other. Pin your zip down like this and proceed to sewing that on. This method is pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Pin down the other side of the zip and sew it down. I open and close the zip to get the zip head out of the way so that it doesn't get caught in the needle. I'm using a zip footer, so it gives me a really close stitch to the zip, which makes the zip look invisible when I close it like this. You can barely even see the zip. So you should have something like this. I should really cut the rest of that zip off, but it's a long zip and I don't want to waste it on this skirt, so I intend to change the zip later. I didn't have a shorter zip, so I used this one to show you. So do the exact same thing on the lining piece for the back. So next, we're going to attach the front and the back together with the correct sides facing. This fabric is really great because it shows you the right side and the wrong side. So connect the sides together, the seams of the front and the back. Do the same for the lining too. I'm just going to pin this down so that it doesn't move when I'm sewing it. Secure your pieces in place with pins and go ahead and sew that down. When you get to the hip area, feel free to blend it out or not, but it usually makes sense to blend it out. Some people blend it out on the pattern, but I don't. Like in my previous video, I didn't blend it out on my pattern. I like to do it on the fabric. So do the same thing for the lining, and now we have this and we're ready to attach the lining to the skirt. Lay both parts of the fabric on top each other like this. Taking the right side of the lining, connect it to the left side of the main fabric like this. So right side of the zip connects to the left side of the main fabric and pin it like this. There are other ways to do this, but I find that this is easier for me and it's pretty simple to follow. So again, I take the right side of the lining and connect it to the left side of the main skirt So you know the seam is split down the middle, so use the right side completely. Pin the lining onto the main skirt piece like this. Make sure you pin it so that you don't make a mistake in sewing the wrong side. So do this all the way down. Try and get the zip out of the way. Usually you would use a shorter zip and this wouldn't be a problem to you, but obviously I have coconut head and this is what I'm doing. So just try and get that out of the way. If you don't have a shorter zip, you can use a longer zip and just cut it. But again, I'm not going to waste my good zip for a skirt when I have dresses that need a long invisible zip. So I'm sure you understand my struggle right now. So pin it down all the way to the bottom hem of the skirt like this. Make sure that you don't pin both sides of the lining to the right side. Remember, there's two sides, so you want right side to left. So make sure that they're not joined together. I can't tell you the number of times that I've ended up sewing these two pieces together. That's why I'm being very careful and taking my time to pin this down so that you don't make the same mistake that I do. When you do that, just go ahead and sew this down like this. So you should have something that looks like this because we use the right and left side together. When you flip it round, it should look like this. So you have both back pieces backing each other to give you a clean finish on the inside. So when you flip it inside out fully, it should look like this. So do this and we get ready to sew the other side. So the backs are facing each other and the two fronts are outside. So to do the other side, grab the lining piece and grab the skirt piece and fold the lining piece over, because you don't want your seam sticking out. So you just want to fold the inside like this. This gives you a better idea. So when you fold it, just go on the inside and pin it down. It helps you understand it better because you know you don't want your seam and the frayed fabric sticking out. So you'd understand when you start doing it. Just make sure that the untidy edges are on the inside. So just fold it in such a way that all the untidy edges are tucked inside and outside gives you a neat look. So just flip it inside out and pin the other side. Again, I'm struggling to get the long zip out of the way, so just ignore me. I just had to find a way somehow. In the end, I kind of had the zip sticking out, but you can't see it anyway, so I think it all worked out. So after doing that, you just go ahead and secure the other part. Sew that part down, taking all the pins out as you go, avoiding zip. When you're done with that, at the bottom edge of the skirt, connect the lining piece to the main piece. There would usually be a 1-inch space because the lining was cut shorter than the skirt. So just ignore it and just attach it together, making sure you line both sides up like this. So 1/2 inch, just so I'll show you what to do with the leftover, with the 1 inch that you have that is not balanced yet. So just go ahead and just do this. Join the two hems together of the lining piece and of the main skirt from one slit to the other side. doing that 1/2 inch that you have left, go ahead and just sew it straight down like this. You have that extra bit, that loop there, so just pull that down to the bottom of the skirt and just sew it down. Everything should work out now. Do that for both sides. Again, see, just pull it down, allowing the main fabric to overlap the lining, and just sew that down. So now we flip it inside out to look at what we've done, and you should have something that looks a bit like this. You can use something sharp to push out the edges so that it's pointed, so it's not folded in. So just push that out for the bottom of the skirt. Be careful if you're using a scissor so that it doesn't go through the fabric, because that's happened to me many times before. But again, I still won't learn because I have coconut head. So just use something blunt preferably, and just push that out. And at this point you need to give it a good press. Iron out all the corners so that it lays flat. Next, we are going to attach the band. So from the center back where the zip is, you open the zip, you grab the lining, you grab the band and sew down one piece, sew down one end, because it's open, so just close it up. Trim off the excess and line it up onto the fabric. So when you flip it inside out and you push out the corners with a sharp, with something small enough to fit in there. So what you do is you take the band and place it like this from the inside. That's from where the lining is. You place it this way, lining it up to the zip, and you pin. Remember, you want it from the back on the inside of the skirt. When you're done pinning, you sew down, you attach the band to the skirt. When you get to the other end, just do the same thing, close up the space you have. So it would look like this. So just go ahead, and if you have excess, just trim it off. I like to cut more than I have just because I need, just in case. So just go ahead, close it up and trim off the excess. So on the front, you fold in 1/2 inch of your band like this. So fold in the 1/2 inch allowance that you've got left and top stitch neatly. Top stitch the band onto the skirt neatly, making sure that you catch the other bit, the bottom, when you're sewing. Try to be as careful and sew this as neatly as possible, because this is going to be the part people notice, the part people see. So finish it off like this, just tidy it up. So now all I have left to do is to attach the hook and the eye, and that's basically the skirt finished. It should look something like this. Yeah, and that's the skirt done, neatly finished. The inside is fully lined, completely neat, to a professional standard, to a professional finish. Again, if you'd like to see how I created the pattern for the skirt, click the eye or check for the link in the description bar. I made a pattern for the skirt. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like my videos. If you make this skirt, feel free to tag me. My social media is on the screen. Let me know. Leave it in the comment section. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to respond or show you, answer all your queries. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Bye.